Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time. My name is Marnise Nicole and I'm an acrylic painter, and sometimes I dabble in digital art, and right now I've actually just finished creating this storyboard behind me. I'll go ahead and put it right here, but it is for a new acrylic painting. You can't really see the sketch that's right here because it's so bright, but I've taken this storyboard, I've created a whole kind of scenario behind it, and I'm going to go ahead and paint it actually. I really have been liking using Procreate to make specific storyboards to go behind my story, picking out the different colors as you can see around the storyboard, picking out like different reference photos that I can use when I create my sketches, and kind of helping me to confirm a feeling, a tone, a perspective, and just a fully formed idea. A whole part of my painting and in my work, I like to focus on what the feeling and the tone is in a piece. I want to paint a moment. That's always what I want to paint. That's always what I'm going for. I want to paint a captured scene, like this kind of standalone presence, and you can feel the whole tone of that. And then going in and storyboarding and creating that concept and actually actualizing it in some kind of form is really been helping me. Before, all I would do is just pick up my paintbrush and kind of get my idea out, and the quickest way possible in like maybe some studio grade paint on the canvas, and then kind of come back to it, build on it, that sort of thing. But there's something to be said about planning out your pieces, and so we're gonna hop into going through and painting this sketch and creating this kind of abstracted piece. The theme of the piece is poppies, which is my favorite flower. I love poppies, and I didn't realize how much I love poppies until I was decorating my apartment, and I was like, I need fresh flowers because I'm allergic to most of them. And I was like, what can I have? What do I like? And I really just kind of sat there and thought, oh, I really do actually like poppies. Like, I love them and I never buy them. But I also just felt the need of painting these type of poppies and doing some kind of abstracted work with them. I've only painted poppies one other time, and it was for painting by Jane Paint Along. She used the palette knife. I think I still have that video up, so if you're interested, I'll go ahead and link it here. But now I want to do like an abstracted acrylic ink painting. It's Inktober. I want to play with my inks, and so we're gonna go ahead and do that. We'll jump into the time lapse of this video, and I'll be back to close it out. Hey guys, so it's like weeks later. I had midterms and then shortly thereafter had like the epic cold. So this piece right here doesn't have the finishing touches on it yet. So the whole point of this piece was to be very abstract. I put the first layers down in acrylic ink, and I'm not sure at this point what I filmed and what I said, so let me just share some of the colors. I used some of the Sennelier abstract acrylic inks, which I really like. They're pigmented, but they also, you could like them out without like losing the color. So I really like these. So I used some of these, and I did most of my line work with the Black Magic from Higgins. So I had that. I used some of this orange for the poppies that we painted, and then the other colors I used were these two FW colors right here. I used some of this muted purple for the shadows, and then we finally just used some of this brown. This is FW again, and I used some of this for like the stems and some of the shadows. And the color itself is actually very chunky in the tube. It's actually really hard to work with that brown, and of course it probably wasn't stored correctly. It wasn't tightly shut when I finally did open it and swatch it, and so I may have to replace that. I'm not sure if I can really work with it yet, or maybe add some water to kind of thin the chunkiness out of it. But regardless, we have this as a base, and now on top of this I want to go ahead, use some of my pencils, use some of my markers, and kind of create some more depth to this piece. It really is just a girl in a field of poppies. They just happen to tower over her, and this is just a little abstract world kind of piece that I like the idea of. I like the concept, and I really love the colors, and I love poppies, and like I love this. So I'm gonna play around with this, finally add my greens to give this a nice little pop, and then you will just follow along with me until this is finished, and then we'll just close everything out. But yeah, I'm gonna hop right into this finally and finish everything. And see the girl, she has her mask on, even though she's very exposed and wearing lingerie at this point, although not any sexy kind, just a regular little two-piece right there. She's exposed in a way that's like, look at me, but also she's covered up. She has her mask on because masked up. That's what this is, masked up all day. So all right guys, this is the finished piece. I went in and added some texture with my colored pencils and my markers, and I really like how this piece came out. The only thing I would really fix is just kind of the positioning of the legs. That's not really a reasonable leg position, but I just don't know how to fix it at this point. So we're going to keep it and we're going to move forward. We're not going to look behind. We're going to look at the overall picture. Yeah, so this is really the last acrylic painting that I'm doing for October, Inktober, that sort of thing. I didn't get to spend as much time as I wanted doing Inktober and playing with my acrylic inks, but also like I had a lot going on. I was sick for so long, guys. And yeah, if you didn't know, I have like a bunch of videos recorded that I'm gonna update and like edit and like post soon, but I was so sick October. Like, I kept getting colds, and no, I didn't have COVID or like anything like that. I just, the weather switched up on us, and then I got sick. And it was right after midterm, so I was probably already running myself like really ragged, and that didn't help when you're not taking care of yourself. But like every time of like seasonal changes, every single time I get sick, it's just like something to expect. But anyway, so videos are coming, but this one is finished, and like I'm glad I did get a chance to finish this piece because I really like it. First of all, I love poppies. They are my favorite thing in the world. And second of all, I just don't do enough abstract pieces. Actually, I do end up doing abstract art, and then it has something to do with like ununiform plant life. Like, I paint a lot of trees, and every time I like dabble in abstract, it's like I'm painting plants, but in a different way, kind of. So like this piece right here is called Taking Root. I did this in 2018, 2 years ago, and this was like my first kind of abstract piece. And I was just kind of like, you know, what is behind the concept of, you know, these, you know, potted planned forests, like a forest with more of an aesthetic. Like, what would a forest look like if like people could make it look like Pottery Barn? That was the concept. This is not my favorite piece as terms of the actual outfit or hair. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, I should update the face, I should fix it. But I painted her face so many times, and this was at the beginning of my art career, and I was really like, even with 2 years of painting, I still struggled with proportions. I still struggle with proportions now, but like this piece was one of the first abstracted like figure paintings that I ever did, or what, landscapes or whatever. And so there's that. And then we have this that's kind of in the same family. And so we have this, and so yes, it's inspired kind of by Taking Root, because of course I love the idea and the concept, but also it's just because I wanted to play around with flowers. These are not the best abstracted flowers. This one ended up being way too dark, but still I think it makes for a little bit of a dynamic piece. I really want to see what this looks like framed. I've ordered a frame, but it won't be here for a while, so this is the piece anyway. And so I really like being able to build texture with colored pencils and markers on top of acrylic inks. It's a nice experimental way to show movement in a piece, so I'm really excited that I got to play around with that. And you know what, I'm really excited that I got a chance to sit down and relax. I just got to storyboard, but like have fun and just paint. So even though I started off like making it a little technical, the whole process ended up being just fun. And so anyway, those are my final thoughts on this piece that took me several weeks to finish because being sick is not fun. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. My name is Marnise Nicole. I'm an acrylic painter, and I'm out.